Ready? Yep. Yep. So, guys, Gabe Scarpelli, EVO Sports. I got Big Paul with me today.
What's up,
We're going to
guys?
talk a little bit about marketing and what we're doing for this upcoming show, April 12th at the Santa Clara Convention Center. So, Paul, you introduced me to Joey last year, and we took a shot on a young kid. He's about 19 years old, loves lifting, working out. And we just, wanted to integrate him so he could see like, what we do on a day-to-day basis. And he's taken it and ran with it. Like, how impressed were you with Joey last year?
No, Joey for sure. He's a young, energetic kid who's very muscular for a 19-year-old.
Yeah. It's
And and his stature is good. I just feel that his energy is good.
He represents the brand, right?
And
He lives a lifestyle.
he lives a lifestyle. All he does want to do is train all day long, eat great, have fun. He has been going to whether it's a supplement shop, whether it's a gym, whether it's a yoga studio, anything related to what we do for the expo, he is there. He's hanging up a poster. He's dropping off flyers. The kid he is unbelievable. We give him a list. He goes and runs with it and drops everything off. So marketing, he's definitely handling the marketing side right now, and love to have him. It's great having him on the team.
It is, it's reminiscent. Like we met, I was what, 18 years old, 19 years old when Blown Gear came out, your company. And you were just a few years older than me, but like growing up in the gym life, like we did at Gold's, that was what we did every day. Monday through Friday, we would get after it. We'd hit it for 2, 3 hours. Our group was tight and it's been tight. I mean, we've known each other. I'm 44 now. So you're looking at a huge relationship for a long, long time. And it's been great having you join the team because, at EVO Sports, like we're always trying to engage and grow and develop, better team members that will get, the word out because our passion is fitness, our passion is sports. And EVO Sports, it's 8 months for 8 hours. So it takes a village to build what we do. And Joey's been a great teammate for us on this thing.
He really has. And going back to, when we first met, the fitness side of it here at Gold's Gym, and I was working out every day at Gold's Gym. And then you get this community, and then we started a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And everyone, at that time was just, we were just pretty much like, the whole thing of selling shirts out of your trunk. That was real. I mean, I always had shirts in my car.
You guys didn't have social media.
It was
You had
just,
to lay the market unless you were out in the streets making it happen.
yeah. So exactly. So any show that we can go to, obviously we started with the NPC show here in San Jose when Paul Love had the show, and he let us do whatever we wanted to do. We were promoting the show, and he figured that we had more traction at the time than what he can do. And we built that show, and we built the brand, and we built it without, social media. But that's how, the steady grind was an everyday thing, going to gyms, going to supplement shops, going to these fitness functions to get the brand out, and that's, now we turn around here. When I joined EVO a few years ago, that's the whole structure of what we do is we go and talk to the fitness enthusiasts, we talk to the stores, we talk to the gym owners, and we're really involved. And, all we got to do is keep on grinding. And, we know that our show is going to be great because it's been great, and it's going to get bigger and bigger. And, here we go.
Yeah, last 14 years has flown by, but it's changed. I mean, we started with 3 sports, and now this year we'll be around 30 sports. And I feel like honored that we're able to represent so many different communities all under one roof. And it goes back, we're in a social environment currently. Everything is digital. Everything that we do now is really a social media ad. And we don't lean into that. We're probably some of the only people that still go out face to face, business to business. I enjoy talking with business owners and, whether it's a company like Blown Gear was that was just hustling and making a great market and name for themselves, or a large scale company like Gold's Gym or any of these other groups we work with, NutriShop, etc. It's been awesome just to meet and kind of hear their story. And then the expo has now become the place where they tell their story to all of our clientele that technically is their clientele. They get to actually share what they are passionate about. And part of the reason we're doing this podcast or part of this, process for us was just sharing what we talk about on a daily basis, which is the fitness grind, the martial arts grind, and being able to put a face around that. And as we start putting this thing together, we're going to be going to these gyms, interviewing people, talking with people, because we want to enlighten people about what their journey is as much as our journey is.
How I love the show so much is because under one roof on that specific day, and this year is going to be April 12th. everyone who is involved with fitness, everyone who's involved in their sport, they will come and enjoy and take part of this community that we're building with fitness enthusiasts. And even if you don't like fitness because you're there for a specific sport and you're there supporting your kid or your neighbor or your friend, you might get intrigued by it because you'll see these people who have passion in their sport. And maybe you don't have a hobby. Maybe you can pick one. Maybe you can join us in this whole realm. So
of inspiration.
that's why we love it, because it inspires. We have little kids competing, we have older people competing, and it's just a great thing that they can do it in front of us and build this show and have entertainment for everyone. I call this show, since I joined, I call it what's the thing I call it, Gabe? I call it the fitness extravaganza. I know this is weird, but I think it's extravaganza. It's a big event.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. No, it's been really good, man. And like this year, we have some new things. We're bringing in a large scale high rocks event. We're bringing in Spartan race. We're going to do the Deca Comp, Deca Mile. We're expanding on some of those fitness modalities. And what I've learned too, like a lot of our sports in the beginning were very niche and they would be basically MMA or bodybuilding. And that's a real small target market. But we've opened it up, and I'll give an example like high rocks. That is a functional fitness sport for the masses. That is where anyone and everyone can train and develop. And I hope that we do inspire you guys to get up and work out. We always say lead fitness with purpose. And I feel like when you come to the gym, if you have direction, if you have a goal in mind, it really does play into how you approach that workout. And you find a new community within our own community. So we're really excited about High Rocks this year and the Spartan Deca Comp. And I think those are going to be the game changers for us, is that we'll bring in more people that literally will find inspiration, and it's everybody under the sun. It is tech people, it is athletic people, it is parents, it's grandparents, it's kids, and they're all going to have a voice on that platform that we're creating April 12th.
Yeah. And just because we personally love bodybuilding and we love these shows, we've been going to them for years. Sometimes people get the misconception that there's only bodybuilding there, but no, we have all the other sports going on. Bodybuilding just one of many. So let's get people to want to come and join and see what's going on, and that is what makes it the experience that we have. Building the community and building the experience to see these people compete and this everyone in under one roof. I keep on saying that, but I really mean that. It's amazing to see under one roof that many square foot. We have 100,000 square feet
100,000 feet. Yeah.
of just madness going on and so much things going on, so much entertainment for a family to come see. And that's why, you got to come join us April 12th at the Convention Center in Santa Clara.
Absolutely. To cut it there. So one thing that Andrew said, and like following these things, I want to sell less. They can sell less on tickets, sell less on any of that.
Yep.
Paint the picture of what it is. Everything.
That's good. No, it's my first time doing it. Yeah, it's good.
For sure.
That's good.
No, I did the same thing because I lean with like the same 5 things I want to do. I want something from those motherfuckers. Where like now we're trying to figure out how to give them something back.
Makes sense.
So
That makes sense.
yeah. So it's hard though, because like we're salespeople. So I'm gonna lean into fucking right out the gate, like, hey, www.motherfuckerbuyaiticket.com.
No, for sure. $30, motherfucker.
Yeah. Don't be cheap. You bitch. You can't even get DoorDash fucking Taco Bell for $30. Bitch ass.
Yeah, you can't even get pho for $30 out, bitch.
No, you can get it Hong Kong for $30 though.
Chinese food,
Delicious.
and some bottom roast beef. You know what I mean?
Ask Luis. He took us there out of the.
I like it, but not like roast beef.
Okay. So what are other topics we would cover?
Um,
'Cause that was a good starting point. Right?
let's
Not talk about blown gear a little bit, like that fitness journey, like how it led you to like get into the bodybuilding world. And
Yeah. That's fine. I can do that.
well, that adds like credibility to like how you got into it. It wasn't just because you were.
Yeah.
I talk about like your dad. You had to work out.
Yeah, sure. No, I'll tell a little bit of my story briefly and like something about me.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
So Paul, like we've been in this industry a long time and it's been great. And I know we all have individual stories of how we started. And I'm always intrigued by that because I looked at when I got started, my dad had this old weight set in the dog run of all places. And it was sand and it was PVC pipe and a metal rod. And all I could do was bench press and curls. It's all I had. So I was like chest and biceps coming into high school, and then I figured out what we had to do to actually do this the right way. But like, how did you get started in this fitness world? And like, what was your first time working out and everything?
It's all my dad's fault. My brother and I, we came from Southern California at an early age. My dad wanted us to have a new start in San Jose, so we come to San Jose Bay Area from Orange County.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I didn't lift weights at all until I was 13 years old, 13, 14 ish. I started working out. The reason why, my dad bought us our first weight set. It was like a 300-pound from Big Five or somewhere like that. So he bought us a set. My brother would always do chest, so his chest would always be pumping out, and I kind of went, I got to see what he's doing.
We didn't know nothing, man. We just hit chest. We hit the pretty muscle groups is what we
It was
call
it was just chest and bicep,
That's it. Yeah.
So I go, Dad, like, do you lift weights? He's like, no, I did not, but I want you to learn. And then I go, Dad, well, why don't you give me a gym membership, and maybe I'll go to the gym. He's like, you lift all these weights right here, 300 pounds, and I'll get you a gym membership. So that's where it started. So I started lifting every day.
You had a goal in mind. You knew what you wanted. Yeah.
I really loved it. And then I think I was 17 years old. And then I finally hit all the weight.
So this wasn't instant gratification. Fitness is a journey. It is a lifelong journey. Just so you guys know, 13 to 17, 4 years of weight training and staying dedicated for one goal. That's what I love about sports.
Yeah. It wasn't overnight because you have to really get used to like the weight, and you're not, no one really taught me. Just my brother and I were bench pressing.
Did you go on YouTube?
No, nothing.
You had Instagram though, right?
We had nothing. We had nothing.
Right.
So all I can remember was just every day, and it's funny because I did chest every day. Like, I did it every day, and I don't think I worked out on the weekend, but sometimes I did, but I was just doing chest and arms every day.
Yeah.
So that's what you do, And then all of a sudden, I think there was I went to Piedmont Hills High School, and they had a bench press contest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and I did 315
Jeez.
for 3.
That's
And then I came home and told my dad that I won this contest at school. He's like, okay, you know what? I told you if you do all this weight, I'm gonna take you to Gold's Gym. So I used to always see Gold's Gym too, just because it was always off the 101. It was a yellow sign, and you always recognize, like,
that was the brand in fitness.
the brand, and then, your curiosity goes, right? Sure enough, I walked in there, and this guy named Armin, he was the first guy at the counter.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and there's like a bunch of older people. There wasn't a lot of kids who worked out
No.
back,
Arlen Delgado.
when we started.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and I joined, and then my dad joined with me. So it was kind of cool. We both go together. And then we start working out. My brother didn't come. I don't know why, but he
He didn't hit the 300 yet. Still working on the weights. Still doesn't. He still hasn't hit it. Dude, he's still waiting on his gym.
No, so no.
2 years later, we're gonna get him hooked up.
No, so you know what though? My brother started me in this. I thank him for that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
the Gold's Gym story was, I fell in love with like bodybuilding and like working out, and that was the real reason why I really got a hold of like the gym, and all my friends were working out, and then we were getting really big.
Yeah.
And then we were getting really strong, and it was just like, next you know, we're like start getting Flex magazines and bodybuilding magazines at the store, and we started looking and like, okay.
Tell me, did you ever slow down? Like, you were working out hard because you had a goal, right? You wanted that gym membership. You got the gym membership. You didn't slow down at that point, right? You went
No,
next phase of next, and
I
you got re-inspired.
no,
to something else.
I ramped up because now it's just like, okay, now I can hit back. I never hit back before. I never hit. Every now and then you hit shoulders, but never legs or never back.
You're lifting with intention at that point.
And all of a sudden you start learning about like the actual, like, if I can train my biceps to get bigger,
Yeah.
I can train my back to get bigger.
I noticed you haven't said legs yet. Is that like because you have small legs or
Well, you know what? You know what? I'm not gonna say in my heyday, but my wheels were never the strong point.
yeah, I know.
Even though I can, I can squat 500 pounds,
Yeah.
but my legs weren't massively over crazy. They were just like there, but it wasn't a strong point,
Yeah.
you know?
And we all got our strengths. I mean, come on. Yeah. At the end of the day, you work around those strengths, but some of those become like the, inflection point of like, all right, I'm going to dedicate more time to that. But having access to a gym, right? The first time I walked into a gym where we had tons of equipment, you realize what you created in that small environment at home was great.
Yeah.
And now you had this whole other thing. You had this whole like wonderland of fitness. You can get in there and do whatever you wanted. And then there's just a community there, right?
Yeah.
So when your friends got together with you, you walked into a place where everyone around you kind of had similar mindset. They're all getting after it. I remember the first time I was younger than you, but I would see you guys train and it was on a way different level. I mean, I was active at 14. I had a gym membership actually at 14 years old. My dad walked us into a gym in Saratoga and we literally got after it. I didn't know what I was doing. I tried my best, but I just watched the other people around you. And when I got to Golds when I was 18, I saw you guys and I remember seeing you guys hitting legs. And I remember the 100-pound wheels was like so intimidating. I had never seen plates like that before.
Yeah.
And I just remember everyone getting after it. And then I saw everybody cheering each other on, man. And that's when I fell in love with like the sport of bodybuilding. It seemed like an isolated sport, but then it really became like this community sport,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Yeah. We took it next level.
Yeah,
We have 4 or 5 guys and we train every night and we would train heavyweight.
yeah.
It was as heavy as possible to get big as possible. And how the whole blown thing came apart
Yeah,
is,
tell me about Blown You.
Yeah,
What is that brand?
so one of our, in our crew, one of my best friends, Milo Rodriguez, he was still is massive. Like he's huge. He's been big his whole entire, his whole entire like adulthood.
Yeah.
We used to try to get to 250, like weigh 250. So at Golds, there's that white next to the water faucet. There was a scale,
The big dial scale, the white dial.
old school.
Yeah.
And we used to hop on there. And then Milo, before he was like, because he was obviously one of the biggest, but it was like everyone tried to get to 250.
Yeah.
And he got there before me. And I remember when he got to 250, he got on there and it was like 252. And he's like, 252 blown. And I'm like, okay, so we kind of heard that, I heard that. And then
It resonated with you,
the
like
next thing you know,
blown.
we're like, man, blown, like that's big. I like that. So then, mentally you take a word and next thing you know, it was like the thing.
Right.
You hop on a scale and be like 245 blown. And I wasn't 250 yet. And then every
Purgatory.
and everyone was just saying, oh man, hang out with that. Before he'd be like, old school, be like, oh, he's buff.
Yeah.
Or,
He's swole.
he's swole.
Yeah.
So then blown, okay, blown.
Yeah.
And, it just resonated with us. And then we always like said it all the time,
For sure. And we heard it all the time. I was trying to shoot for 200. And I remember on that scale, it was at the very top. It's 12 o'clock was 200.
Correct.
And I would just go for that 200 marker.
Correct.
I was definitely not blown. I was cutting for wrestling. I had limited caloric intake at that point, but it was always just like awesome. And then the first time you guys had joined like Paul Love's show, I was at that bodybuilding show and I was like Parkside Hall, downtown San Jose. And I walked in there with a bunch of people from Golds because that's how we used to roll 20, 30 people deep to these bodybuilding shows to support our community and our people. And it was funny. You guys were right there and you had celebrity guests. Who was that?
We had a few back then. I mean, we would
Yeah, there it was. Like at that show, you brought him. He was a guest poser that time. And was it Dexter Jackson?
It could have been Dexter. It could have been Garrett Downing. It could have been he was with San Diego, but he was a pro.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember who was there for that show. But
Yeah.
we did have a lot of. We started getting popular with the
Dude, the star power was real. I mean, you guys created a brand and local Bay Area brand.
Yeah.
And like it was being worn by some of these top names in the industry. And like IFBB pros at the time, that's as good as MLB guys and NFL guys. In our sport, that's like the pinnacle of it. And I saw them wearing your guys' stuff. And then I would go to like Max Muscle and it's on every store. and I go to Golds and I see it on the shelves. I'm like, man, like this came out of nowhere
Yeah.
just from a 252 blown on that white scale at Golds in Santa Clara, and then it became, yeah, just this next level thing. And I think about that, like we've created this brand with EVO, and like I said, it's been 15 years for this, but a lot of what I learned was as a younger man watching all these these businesses become big business, and Blown was definitely one of the things that inspired me to like try to pursue anything in business.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and now we work together.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic because I want to come. When I joined the team, I figure how am I going to come and join? Like and be an asset or be like someone who I can just bring some value.
Yeah,
And this is obviously a different. Because this is an event. This is this is not a clothing brand. Even though we do have some really nice swag, by the way.
we're doing all right with Slack. Yeah, a little
You
bit
know,
on point.
but for the most part, we're an entertainment company.
Yeah,
And we have a big sports function that goes on, and we have 2 this year, and, I love it, and,
yeah.
my side is, business development, trying to get big businesses to come and be sponsors, and, it's a challenge, but, it's a grind, just for Blown, you know?
Yeah. How much does it help though? Like having built a company from the ground up, we have tons of newer companies that come to us, and this is like their first debut of showcasing what they do, their services, their products, whatever it is. It has to be beneficial to talk to them from a point of, I understand your growing pains. I understand that if you come to this show like we did when we were 1999, first couple of bodybuilding shows, 500 people, 1,000 people, we built this from the ground up and it took time. You guys had to invest your time. These shows are amazing. They are what you make them. If you network, you're going to get something. If you market, you're going to get something. If you utilize it just for sales and that's your only game plan, yeah, you'll hit sales. Absolutely. We're going to have 12,000 people there. But at the end of the day, the real story is what you tell to the people in front of you, and you become a brand that people know. I think when you call vendors, and I've heard you talk to these businesses, and you talk directly to the owners, you're sharing experience and expertise based off of what you did, not just because we think it's cool, but you lived it. And I think that's really beneficial to these companies. And that's what I like. The other aspect to this sports world is you can create a livelihood in this thing if you really approach it right. So, I'm sure you've talked to tons of these companies and different business owners, and they share their story with you. And I imagine the Blown story is really resonating with what they do.
No, it does, and it's like, if you wanna get seen. And I know we have social media now, and you can get a lot of people to say, "You know what? I'm good. I have Instagram, I have TikTok. I'm good. I have a YouTube channel." Sometimes that's great, obviously, right? That's the wave. But today, if you have an expo and you can see live in a setting where you can feel the clothes or get a sample of a protein.
Yeah, hear the story from the owner.
And I know that the whole brick and mortar business has gone away. But when you're in a setting like at an expo, and especially our expo, where it's lively, it's pumped up, if you're not there year after year, you gotta be there, and you have to grind. You can't just go and expect that you're gonna sell out your shelves on a show. It's more for the marketing and for the awareness of your brand, where you're at, how you do business.
Why do we still go out? Why is Joey going? He's in Milpitas today. He's hitting up 30 different gym supplement stores, different companies. Why do we still go face to face? Because it matters. In a world that's so social and media driven, and that's a great thing. We utilize it. We have a massive, operation that allows that to be successful. But I still take enjoyment of literally putting my face behind the business. I mean, I'm never too busy to go to a company and talk to them, and vice versa. We all get out there and we make an impact differently. I think when the herd does one thing, you go back to the other thing,
Yeah.
right? You're one of a billion people advertising on social media. Yeah, it works. It's great. But if you're the small fragment of the populace in the entrepreneurial space and you can go out and talk to people and build your brand individually, people buy from people they like, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to support a brand when I like their story. I'm going to support a brand when I can get behind their mission. Why do they do what they do? I can go on their page and go about us and try to find the, chat GBT written, like, here's who we are, what we are. I want to hear from you. When I met you and it was blown and I'd walk up to you at the shows, I found Paul Sandoval there. And he was talking about how he was, building this brand because of this, this, and this. That made sense to me. And then when I got to meet the rest of the team and I realized their story had a good amount of overlap, that's when it kind of gave me, I don't know, just an understanding of what you guys were trying to do with it. You weren't just trying to sell clothes.
No, it was just because,
It was a lifestyle, bro. Like it completely
yeah, no,
right. It was the highest.
yeah, and then, we had a team. So Anthony Masuda and Isaac Helm. Isaac was the artist. He was the guy who just created logos and
Size
designs,
and everything.
and I couldn't even fathom even doing that. So, and then
We only got our strengths.
yeah,
Yeah.
Anthony was like Mr. Business, the numbers and budgets and everything, and then I'm the crazy wild one on the street promoting and marketing, and we came together, and everyone had their lane, and
So great because you guys found each other in the gym through relationships.
oh
And then everyone had their strengths. So you all wore the specific hat you're supposed to wear. And I would say that's part of this too. Like you may be the face of a company, but there's so many people in the company that are helping you get there
yeah,
that this is one of those points where you can bring them to a place and thousands of people get to see them. And so we're really excited, guys. I know this is just a fragment of what we've done in the last, 30 years. And really, I hope you feel the passion that we have for this industry. And we have a lot more stories and a lot more things that we're going to highlight. And I hope you follow us on Instagram. There's going to be some things coming out really soon, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So, Big Paul, thank you for joining me today, man. Really excited about the future of this, and that April show is going to be amazing. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
peace out.